You people are always short on change, huh? The words slice through the grocery line like glass. A milk carton slips from her hand, bursts against the white tile, a soft thud, then a flood. Cold milk crawls toward her shoes. No one moves. The cashier grins, loud enough for the queue to hear. Maybe next time, count your pennies before coming here. The laughter that follows isn't loud. It's worse. It's polite, nervous, pretending not to be cruel. She bends down, fingers trembling as she picks up scattered coins. "I said I'll pay," she murmurs, her voice small but unbroken. "Sure, ma'am," the cashier drawls, dragging out the ma'am till it sounds like mockery. "We just got rules here. Don't want to slow down the real customers. The words hang there, heavy, dirty. Someone coughs. Another person looks away. The line stands still, pretending it's all normal. Her hands move slower now, not from hesitation, from fury. She's holding it back, caging it behind her ribs. The man behind her chuckles. Guess she thought food stamps still worked. A few smirks spread like stains across faces. She looks up. Straight at the cashier. "You done?" The woman blinks, caught off guard by how calm that sounded. "Excuse me? You done talking down?" The tone shifts. The crowd senses it, the way her words cut without shouting, but the cashier doubles down, drunk on attention. "I'm just saying we got store policies. If you can't afford, the slap isn't physical, but it lands harder. I can afford dignity, you?" For a second, the entire store stops breathing. Even the beeping registers pause like they know what silence means. Her milk-soaked shoes squeak as she stands. She drops the last coin onto the counter, the clink echoing sharper than any insult. "Keep the change." The cashier's grin falters. "Lady, I didn't mean..." But she's already turning away. The floor reflects her every step. Milk, coins, shame, and pride all mixing under her feet. Someone whispers, "Man, that was uncalled for." Another mutters, "Just let her go." Nobody stops her. Nobody apologizes. Outside, the air hits colder. She exhales steady, holding her grocery bag like a flag. Behind her, through the glass doors, the cashier wipes the counter, still sneering, but her hands shake just enough to betray her. The woman walks away without looking back, but every eye in that store follows her. Not because they care, but because they felt something shift. They just don't know what. And as she crosses the parking lot, she smiles faintly. Not the smile of someone defeated, but of someone who's just remembered exactly who she is. That was the last time anyone would laugh at her in that store. They just didn't know it yet. The automatic doors close behind her, sealing in the silence she left behind. Inside, no one speaks. The milk has been mopped, the coins swept away, but the air still feels heavy, like the insult is lingering in every breath. The cashier breaks first. "People get so sensitive these days," she mutters, pretending she's fine. No one answers. Not the man who laughed. Not the woman who looked away. Even the manager, standing a few feet from the register, stays frozen, eyes fixed on the empty spot where she stood. He clears his throat finally. "Let's move on, folks." But his voice wavers. He knows what everyone else does, that it wasn't just rude. It was wrong. Outside, she stands by her car, watching through the glass. Her reflection stares back at her, milk-stained shoes, trembling hands. She could leave. She should. But something pins her there. Not pride, not anger, something deeper, disbelief. She mouths the words to herself. They all saw it. No one said a thing. Back inside, a teenager at the counter whispers to her friend. She didn't even fight back. Her friend replies, "Would you?" The silence spreads like guilt. Quiet, contagious, unavoidable. The manager pretends to check his clipboard, but the cashier keeps talking to fill the void. "It's not my fault she got offended. I was joking." "Wasn't funny," someone says softly from the back. The cashier spins around. "What?" But the voice doesn't repeat. It vanishes into the hum of the freezers, like it never existed. The woman finally sits in her car. She doesn't start the engine. Instead, she stares at the receipt still clutched in her hand. The store's logo at the top, The word declined stamped in bold red letters where her card failed. She whispers, "They saw me as that word." Declined. A single tear slips down. But she wipes it fast, almost angry at herself for letting it fall. Then, in that small mirror above the dashboard, she catches her own eyes, and for the first time, there's no sadness left. Only focus. Inside, the cashier's confidence starts cracking. The manager finally approaches. "You can't talk to people like that," he says quietly. She scoffs. "So now I'm the problem?" He sighs, weary. "You were from the start." The admission lands heavier than he expects. The day drags on, but nothing feels the same. Every beep of the scanner, every bag crinkling open, sounds like guilt repeating itself. Outside, the woman drives off, slow, deliberate. But as the store shrinks in her rearview mirror, a thought sticks to her like the echo of that laughter. If silence can protect them, maybe power can expose them. And in that thought, small, sharp, defiant, something begins, something that will bring her back through those doors. But next time, she won't be the one standing in line. The next morning, the manager unlocks the store early. The metal shutters rise with a groan that sounds like regret. He moves slower than usual, glancing at the register like it might accuse him. The cashier's already there, sipping coffee, loud as ever. "You see that video?" she says. He stops. "What video?" She smirks, scrolling her phone. "Someone filmed it. Posted it last night. Said I humiliated a woman? Can you believe that?" He feels the words hit like cold water. "How many views?" "Thousands." She laughs, short, nervous. "People are so dramatic." It wasn't even that serious. He doesn't laugh. His hands tighten on the counter. "You said something racist on camera, Denise." Her smile cracks. I didn't mean it like that." "You didn't have to mean it." "You said it." The morning crew walks in mid-conversation, pretending not to hear, but every ear tilts slightly toward them. The store feels smaller, like the walls are listening. "She came in with coins, Tom." Denise defends herself. "You mocked her," he interrupts, voice low but firm. "You made everyone uncomfortable, including me." She folds her arms, defiant again. "So what? You're gonna fire me because people online got offended?" He hesitates. The same hesitation that made him silent yesterday. "I have to follow policy," he says instead. "No immediate termination without review." "Exactly," she says, smirking again, thinking she's safe. "Policy." But something in his tone changes. "Policy's not morality, Denise." She blinks. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means you can keep your job today, but you already lost your respect." The store opens. Customers walk in. A few recognize her from the video, the glances, the murmurs, the quiet avoidance. Denise suddenly feels smaller behind that counter. The manager spends the morning answering calls, reporters, district reps, even the store owner. Every conversation sounds the same. "We're investigating the incident. It's under control." But it isn't. By noon, the laughter from yesterday is gone. The aisles echo with awkward silence. Employees whisper, careful not to get caught on camera. At lunch, Denise tries to joke again, but no one joins. Even her usual crowd avoids her table, the same way they avoided that woman yesterday. Now she understands what isolation feels like, and it burns worse than public shame. The manager sits in his office watching the security feed. He replays the moment she dropped the milk over and over. His reflection in the monitor looks older, guiltier. "She asked for respect," he mutters. "And I gave her a policy." He closes the laptop, eyes heavy. He knows this won't blow over, because somewhere out there, that woman is watching too. And something about the way she walked out told him she's not done with them. Not yet. The night hums with the quiet buzz of an old refrigerator. She sits at her small kitchen table, still wearing the same jacket she left the store in. The groceries, the ones she did manage to buy, sit unopened. Her phone won't stop vibrating. Messages, links, tags, someone recorded everything. She scrolls through the comments. Some defend her, most don't. She's playing the victim. Why make it about race? Should have just walked away. She did walk away, but the internet doesn't care about the truth. It feeds on humiliation, and tonight, she's its dinner. Her eyes burn, but she doesn't cry. She's past tears. It's that strange, hollow quiet that comes after the storm. She exhales slowly, hands trembling slightly as she reaches for a mug. Her reflection in the dark window stares back. The same woman, but harder somehow. A photo catches her eye on the wall. Her father in his old uniform, smiling like the world hadn't yet learned to underestimate him. She stands, touches the glass. He used to say, "Baby, the difference between losing and learning is what you do the morning after." Her throat tightens. "Morning after," she repeats softly. It's past midnight. She pulls a notebook from the drawer, old, worn, full of scribbles and abandoned dreams. On the first blank page, she writes one word in all caps: enough. Then under it, smaller, own it. She stares at those two words until the letters stop swimming. Own it. She whispers, "You wanted respect? Earn it where they can't take it away." Her laptop glows faint blue in the dark. Search bar. How to buy a business license. The cursor blinks. The question sits there, absurd and beautiful at the same time. She laughs once, short, disbelieving, then starts typing. Bank forms, loans, business plans. Everything that once felt like a wall now looks like a staircase. Every click is defiance. Every term she learns is rebellion. Hours slip by unnoticed. The clock strikes 2, then 3. Somewhere between exhaustion and fire, she stops to whisper, "They think you broke me." Pause. Smile. "They just helped me find my reason." Her phone lights up again. A text from an old friend, a real estate broker. "Heard what happened. You okay?" She types back. "Better than okay. I've got a question." By dawn, her kitchen table is covered with notes, printouts, and plans. The same space that saw her humiliation last night now holds the blueprint of her rise. As sunlight spills through the window, she takes one last look at the store's logo printed on the crumpled receipt. Her lips curl into something fierce. "You'll see me again," she says to no one. "Just not how you expect." She folds the receipt and slides it into her notebook, the first page of her comeback story. The world moves on. The video stops trending, but she doesn't. Every morning before sunrise, her apartment glows with the light of her laptop. Calls, emails, numbers, plans. The hum of rebuilding what they thought she didn't have. Failure doesn't scare her anymore. She's already been humiliated publicly. What's left to lose? She sits in a banker's office now, dressed simply, but sharp. The kind of quiet presence that makes people underestimate her until she speaks. "I'm looking for investment options," she says. The banker's polite smile freezes when she names the amount. "That's ambitious," he says carefully. "May I ask what for?" "A purchase," she replies. "Something local." He checks the screen again. "A store?" "Something like that?" He hesitates, eyes flicking over her clothes, her skin, her composure, the silent prejudice that doesn't need to be spoken. "Perhaps you'd consider a smaller startup first?" She smiles faintly. "No, I like big lessons." When she walks out, the banker is still watching her, torn between doubt and intrigue. She's used to that look. Days turn into weeks, paperwork piles up, signatures, inspections, permits. At night, she calls her friend Jordan, a former co-worker turned business advisor. "Are you sure about this?" he asks. "That place has a reputation now." "I know," she says. "That's why I want it." "You mean revenge?" "No," she says softly. "Correction." He laughs quietly. Same energy, different name. "Maybe," she admits. But this time, the story ends with me holding the pen. She visits the store one evening, standing across the parking lot in the fading light. Through the glass, she sees the same cashier still working, tired, distracted, glancing at her phone between customers. For a second, the woman almost feels pity. Almost. She whispers to herself, "You won't even see it coming." The lights flicker inside. The sign above the door buzzes, half the letters out. The store's glory days are fading. She smiles. Sometimes justice doesn't arrive in anger. It arrives in silence. Her nights grow longer. Meetings stack up. Realtors, lawyers. Every no adds fuel. Every delay becomes proof that the world only moves when you push it yourself. In one call, the broker says, "They're asking if you're sure you want to buy that specific branch." She answers without hesitation. That exact one. Personal reason? Very. She signs the first document at 3:27 a.m. It's not ownership yet, just intent, but it's enough to feel the shift. As she clicks the final confirmation, her laptop screen reflects her face. The same face that trembled over spilled milk now looks like it's carved from resolve. Policy over humanity, she mutters. Let's see how that policy feels under my name. She leans back, exhales deeply. The quiet hum of the fridge returns, but now it doesn't sound lonely. It sounds like a countdown. 2 months later, the morning feels the same. Checkout beeps, murmurs of customers, smell of stale coffee. But under the surface, everything's about to change. The cashier, Denise, yawns behind the register, her smile thinner than it used to be. The viral storm cost her friends, respect, and most of her confidence. Yet here she is, pretending it's all forgotten. The door chime rings. A shadow crosses the floor tiles. Denise looks up and freezes. It's her, the same woman. Neat suit, soft gold earrings, quiet eyes that see everything. She's not holding coins this time. Just her phone. And silence. Denise forces a laugh. "Oh, you're back." The words hang awkwardly, more fear than sarcasm. The woman simply nods. "Good morning." Denise glances toward the manager's office, but he's not there. The line forms behind the woman, and suddenly Denise's hands feel clumsy. "What can I get you?" she asks, voice too fast. "Just watching," the woman says. "Not shopping today." Her tone is calm, too calm. The kind that makes everyone else uneasy. From the corner, a young employee whispers to another, "Is that her?" The other nods slowly. "Yeah, the one from the video." The murmurs spread like static. Denise tries to keep her composure, but the air around her feels heavier with every second. Finally, the manager walks out, older, tired, surprised. He approaches cautiously. "Ma'am, can I help you?" "Yes," she says softly. "You can." Her voice isn't angry. It's controlled, confidence. The kind of voice that comes from someone who's already won something. They just haven't announced it yet. Denise fidgets. "Look, if this is about before, we already apologized online, okay?" The woman tilts her head slightly. "Did you?" "I mean, the company did." "Ah," she says, almost smiling. "So, not you." The silence that follows feels like a held breath. She looks around the store, scanning every aisle, every shelf. "Still the same," she murmurs. "Even the smell." The manager clears his throat. "We try to keep things consistent." Her eyes meet his, calm, unblinking. "Not for long," he frowns. "Excuse me?" But before she can answer, a man in a gray suit enters through the same door she did. Clipboard in hand, confident, purposeful. "Morning," he says. "Here to meet the buyer." The manager blinks. "Buyer?" The woman's faint smile returns. "You'll want to stay for this." Denise's heart starts to pound. The customers in line whisper louder now, the tension thick enough to feel. The manager forces a chuckle. "There must be some mistake." The man with the clipboard shakes his head. "No mistake, sir. She's the one." The woman steps forward, voice steady. "Don't worry," she says softly. "I'm not here for groceries." Denise swallows hard. "Then what are you here for?" Her eyes flick toward the office door, the same one she was once escorted out of. "To finish my transaction." The murmur spreads like wildfire. A customer pulls out her phone. Another whispers, "She's buying something," but no one knows what. The woman stands still, hands clasped, the picture of calm in the center of chaos. The manager steps forward, half smiling, half panicking. "Ma'am, if this is some kind of misunderstanding..." The door behind him swings open again. A tall man in a blazer enters, carrying a folder embossed with the store's logo. His voice cuts clean through the noise. "No misunderstanding. She's the new owner." The words land like thunder. For a second, nobody moves. The sound of a single scanner beep fills the air, followed by silence so heavy it feels alive. Denise's mouth falls open. "Wait, what?" The manager turns pale. "That's not possible. Ownership transfer takes months. Finalized last week," the man interrupts. "Effective today." He places the folder on the counter, opens it to the signature page. Her name, bold, deliberate, is there in ink. The cashier stares at it like it's written in fire. You bought this store?" The woman meets her eyes, voice calm. "No, I bought my dignity back." The store just came with it. The crowd ripples. Phones rise, cameras record, but no one speaks. Everyone wants to witness this reversal, this quiet justice taking shape before their eyes. The manager stammers. I didn't know." "That's the problem," she replies evenly. "You never asked. You never saw me as someone who could own something." Her tone is steady, not angry. The calmness of someone who no longer needs to prove anything. "You enforced policy," she continues. "I enforced patience. We both got what we believed in." The man with the folder clears his throat. "All documents are cleared. She'll need the office keys and staff list by the end of the day." Denise's fingers tighten around the counter. "You can't just walk in here and..." "Walk in?" The woman lets out a quiet laugh. "That's all I ever wanted to do. Walk in. Be treated like anyone else." The words sink deep. Denise's anger collapses into shame. The crowd stares, waiting for her to say something. Anything. But she can't. The manager takes off his badge slowly, like it suddenly weighs a ton. "Guess congratulations are in order," he mutters. She nods. "Thank you. I'll need you to stay for the transition." Her calmness terrifies him more than rage ever could. Denise whispers, barely audible. "You planned this?" She turns her gaze toward the ceiling, as if speaking to someone unseen. "No, the world planned it the moment it laughed." Then she looks back at her. No hatred, just quiet clarity. "I'm not here to punish you. I'm here to teach everyone what ownership really looks like." Outside, the sign flickers, open. And for the first time, it finally means something true. The break room feels like a courtroom. Every employee stands in a loose circle, unsure where to look. The hum of the fridge fills the silence, steady, relentless, accusing. She stands at the front, not behind a counter, not at a register, but in the same spot where the manager usually lectures them. Her calm is unnerving. "Let's talk about the day I became a lesson," she begins quietly. No one moves. Even Denise, arms folded tight, doesn't dare interrupt. "I remember every sound," she continues. The laughter, the silence, the sound of milk hitting the floor. None of it hurt as much as watching people pretend not to see. The words fall like stones, slow, deliberate, impossible to dodge. "I was told policy mattered more than humanity," she says, glancing briefly at the manager. "But policies don't protect anyone. They just hide cowards behind clipboards." His head lowers, shame reddening his face. She steps closer to the table, sets down her phone. It begins to play the recording, that video, the one that made the world watch. Denise winces as her own voice echoes back through the room. "We got real customers to serve." The sound of laughter follows. The hush that fills the room afterward feels like punishment enough. She pauses the clip. "You hear that?" she asks softly. No one answers. That's the sound of comfort, the kind that lets hate sound like humor. Denise's eyes glisten, but she hides it with a scoff. "So what, you're here to humiliate me back?" "No," she replies. "I'm here to make sure no one else ever feels what I felt." Her tone is even. Her posture never falters. The power she carries isn't loud. It's measured, mature, earned. She turns to the younger staff, her voice lowering. You're the next generation. You'll inherit this store, this community. Don't inherit their silence, too. The room stays still, not out of fear, out of realization. The manager finally speaks. You don't have to do this in front of everyone. I do, she says softly. Because you didn't stop it in front of everyone. That line lands hard. Denise's lip trembles. The other employees exchange nervous glances, none daring to defend her. Then she picks up the store handbook from the counter, flips through it slowly, then drops it into the trash. The sound is small, but final. From today, she says, we'll run this store by one rule only. Respect is mandatory. The room exhales. The tension breaks, not with applause, but with quiet understanding. Denise wipes a tear, voice cracking. I'm sorry. The woman nods once. Good. Start from there. She turns, heading for the door. The silence that follows isn't empty. It's clean. Everyone in that room knows they'll never forget this moment, and she doesn't have to say it aloud. Justice has already spoken. Days later, the sun spills through the grocery store's wide windows, softer now, almost golden. The place feels lighter, quieter. The same aisles that once echoed with judgment now hum with something gentler. The new owner, the same woman once mocked for buying food, moves through the store, not with pride, but with purpose. Every step, every word, every smile carries quiet power. At the checkout, Denise stands nervously, scanning items. Her hands shake slightly when she sees her approach. Morning, the woman says. Calm, measured, humans. Denise swallows. Good morning, ma'am. The word ma'am catches in her throat. She wasn't used to saying it, especially not to her. The woman sets a few items on the belt. Nothing expensive, just simple things. Bread, milk, a child's snack pack. You don't have to call me ma'am, she says softly. Just treat people right. That's enough. Denise nods. I'm trying. Every day. The woman looks her in the eye, not with anger, but with something that feels heavier, deeper. Forgiveness, but not the easy kind. The kind that forces a person to face their reflection. Good, she replies, because I'm not here to erase what happened. I'm here to prove people can change. For a moment, Denise doesn't blink. There's no defense left, only quiet gratitude. A customer in line, a young black boy holding his mother's hand, watches them. The woman smiles at him. You helping your mom today? He nods shyly. Denise catches that exchange, that effortless warmth, and something inside her breaks open. Can I ask you something? Denise says. Go ahead. Why did you buy this store? After everything? The woman takes a breath. Because power doesn't mean revenge. It means responsibility. You humiliated me in front of everyone, so I had to show what real strength looks like. Denise lowers her gaze. I don't deserve this chance. No one does, she says quietly. That's what makes it a gift. Behind them, the line grows. People are watching, listening. But this time, it's not a spectacle. It's a moment of truth shared out loud. The woman collects her bag, smiles faintly. See you tomorrow, Denise. Denise hesitates, then says softly, I'll be here. As she leaves, a small ripple of murmurs spreads through the store. Not gossip, but respect. Every employee straightens a little taller. Every customer watches with quiet admiration. Outside, the woman stops by the glass doors. She looks at her reflection. The same door she once walked through as a target of mockery. Now it opens for her. She whispers to herself, not to conquer, to rebuild. And with that, she steps back into the sunlight. The same world, but changed, softened by the mercy that burns brighter than hate. The store glows under the evening lights, shelves lined. Customers chatting, laughter echoing softly between aisles. What once felt like a battlefield now breathes like a community. The woman stands near the front counter, watching people move. Different faces, different colors, no barriers. A young cashier greets an elderly man with warmth. A teenage girl helps a mother pack her groceries. Small acts, but powerful ones. The manager, now working under her leadership, approaches with cautious respect. "Store's doing better than ever," he says. "You really changed this place," she smiles faintly. "No, we did. All it needed was a mirror." He looks puzzled. She continues, "A mirror shows who we really are. This store just needed to look at itself." Behind them, Denise is training a new hire, patient, careful, almost gentle. The woman watches her for a moment, then nods slightly. It's strange how healing doesn't need grand speeches. Sometimes it's just consistency, showing up again and again until respect feels normal. A small girl tugs her mother's sleeve near the entrance. "Mom," she whispers, "that's the lady who owns the store." Her mother smiles. "That's the lady who made it better." The woman hears it, just enough to make her eyes glisten. Later that night, she locks up the door herself. Outside, the sky is bruised purple, stars faint behind the city glow. She leans against the glass, taking a slow breath. Her phone buzzes. A notification. The video, the one that started it all. Millions of views now. Comments pouring in, and some angry, some inspired, some broken-hearted. She scrolls slowly, reading each one like a confession. "I was that cashier once. Thank you for showing what change looks like. I didn't know silence could hurt that much until I watched this. We need more stories like this." Her thumb hovers over the screen. Then she records a voice note, just her voice, calm but resolute. "I never planned to make noise. I just refused to stay quiet. If hate can spread through one moment, then maybe hope can too. And if you've ever been silenced, humiliated, or made to feel small, remember this. Power isn't in shouting louder. It's in standing taller." She uploads it quietly, no hashtags, no flash, just truth. As she walks away, the camera of life lingers, her silhouette fading into the night, the store's sign glowing softly behind her. She didn't buy the store to prove them wrong. She bought it to prove what's right still exists. If her silence turned into strength, imagine what yours can become. Subscribe, not to a story, but to every voice that refuses to be forgotten.